Welcome everybody, this is gonna be the third game in a best of 7 in the Two Pools Shomatch in between Secret and Aftermath. On the left side of the screen now it's gonna be Viper in yellow playing as Celts, and on the southern part of the map in red as Saracens is Tato. Right side, Hera in blue playing as Spanish, and on the northern part of the map it's gonna be Lyri in green going for Slavs. So we had a little bit of a discussion over here about these civilizations, considering that we did have a crash from Hera, and honestly this is my favorite setup of Hideout. It's the rainforest-like setup, and that is why this is so beautiful. So the thing is, I still struggle to see how Slavs and Spanish, which are both of them a cavalry civilization in late Imperial, is gonna be utilized together. So, yep, that is gonna be interesting. However, on the bright side of things, the Spanish is probably something that can easily decide a game by themselves with their trade. That's something to point out as well. So Spanish trade is so important to take a look at in such matches. So, let's take a look at the maps here for Tato. He's playing Saracens, and one thing to point out for first is the gold pile from Tati. So, this gold is fairly exposed. Secondary gold very close as well. So this is definitely something that Hera could consider trushing this. So Spanish can definitely be doing a great job at trushing, but I don't think that's gonna be the case, judging by how Hera is playing. Hera going for the deer pushes makes me believe that this is gonna be a fast castle play from him, and I wouldn't be surprised to see that, to be honest. But yeah, this is not great golds for Tati or Tato. Meanwhile, on the other side, Viper. Gold over here is actually quite nice. Secondary gold not so great. He's gonna push in the deer from the outside. Stones are fairly well split up, so it's gonna be a fairly decent one, I would say, for the Viper. Meanwhile, for the map of Lyri, who's playing Slavs over here, the gold piles are absolutely horrible, as well as the Huntables. This is a horrible map for Lyri. I'm a bit sad for this. Like, look at this. Both of the gold piles super close to each other. Super close to each other. And meanwhile, the boards are on the outside as well. Polary, yep, I was actually expecting that question about the tournament. Let's say that if things go well, I hope I will. A lot of things have to go well for that, but last year's tournament started with a Showmatch sometime in April. I put together, that was the first showing of Two Pools. You don't remember that, most likely. That was a very weird setup. But anybody remember here a best of 5 show match between MBL and Nikov facing Tato and Doubt? It wasn't even a best of 5, it was a play all 5 show match only on Hideout. It was a full Hideout 5-game show match that we had back in the Woobly days. That was the first Two Pools show match when I experimented this one. That was crazy as well. Yep. One thing that was criticized is the full Hideout setup, but I basically did that because Hideout was my favorite map. Still my favorite map is Hideout. So, yep. And, yep, this is Hideout. So basically what Hideout features like is a central forest, then there is some outside walkable area, and each player is surrounded by palisades. That's the standard. So, yep, this is Hideout. Anyways, we are gonna have Hera. Golds are fairly decent, not super great, but it's okay. Stone is quite nice for him though. I think it's just far away from the wall that it is not scouted by a Dark Age scout, but it's a bit tough to tell. Anyways, Hera does see the holes over here on Tato's walls, even though he is not daring enough to go inside. So for now, it is just gonna be scouting around. One thing I want to check. Oh man, this is so unlucky for Hera. Look at this. He's barely missing both patches of the gold from Tato. That could have been a very important piece of information, but now that he's missing it, he has no idea how the gold spots look like for Tato. He's missing them both by just a single tile. Oh man. Anyways, Loom coming in very early for Tato. That is just 20 villagers Loom, and that might mean that he's clicking up the feudal age earlier than we expected. And remember why Saracens are good? Because Saracens do have some extra damage on their archers against buildings. That way, you can go for a standard scouts or a standard archers opening and try to pressure the base of Hera. And take a look at this. Taro will just scout this gold pile here from Hera, and look at that. Look at the minimap here. So Taro is signaling the position of that gold mine to his teammate, as Valpakanen is dropping some bits. Thanks a lot, much appreciated for the support. So thanks a lot for the bits. Hopefully you will enjoy. So to focus a bit on our casting as well, we got villagers moving forward here from Taro, and that makes me believe that we will probably see a forward range coming up from him. Barracks back at home. Now it's gonna be Hera finding the gold. No, he's still not finding the gold miners. He just sees the mining camp, so he knows it's either stone or gold. But considering that he sees this stone, he knows that this has to be a gold pile over here and knows that Taro is going for a gold mine. Meanwhile, Taro is gonna go for an aggression here with his own scout. He wants to take this fight. Wants to make sure that these villagers will not be found, sneak an archer range over here, and then try to bash his way in to push the gold piles. Meanwhile, Viper is also going aggressive, going for a few militias. That's not something that you see every day, as he's gonna go for the Celtic men-at-arms, and I think this might be a double link here on Hera. So I could totally imagine men-at-arms walking all the way around with Celts, but apparently they're just going for Leary here. Leary is clicking up at 25 villagers, so is Hera. So basically both players from Aftermath are fast castling. Secret going super aggressive in this one. I'm not sure if that is gonna be working for Secret here, to be honest, because Leary can just wall behind this one and Viper is gonna be behind. Meanwhile, Hera is going for multiple villagers on stone. This is gonna be probably tower defense plus fast castle into conquistadors still. So the thing is, Hera will now see this, and this is not something that you can contest as Saracens. So thrashing Spanish will not work because Spanish villagers build faster, so Hera can just easily counter tower you very well. Meanwhile though, Hera does not have loom, and that's something to watch out for, because a few archers can deal significant damage to him. And let's see where Viper's militias are. They are still trying to bash their way into Leary's base. They are forcing a lot of new pile sites to be built, and that means that a few idle time is caused on the villagers of Lear. That's something to point out, and as expected, Hera's gonna be very easily counter-towering this one. And I think what Taro will try to do is garrison the archers inside. If you garrison archers inside, the damage output of these towers will definitely increase. And right now, what Taro is able to do with this one is that he's able to idle some villagers from Hera. So Hera has 5 idlers inside this tower, meaning that the fast castle is gonna be delayed. More importantly, Hera has no gold. So this is the most important thing here. Hera does not have any gold. Does have this one tower, does have this one tower as well. And meanwhile, Viper still trying to bash his way into the base here, and unsuccessful. Leary on the way to Castle Age, and probably Fast Castle Knights is gonna be the play here for him. And another defensive tower being erected by here from Hera. And the thing is that this tower defense is gonna be very nice from Hera. Now he's gonna be able to reclaim his gold mine, but his Castle Age has been delayed quite a bit. Still, Taro is far away from clicking up, Viper is fairly far away from clicking up, even though he's not really producing anything. So probably straight up World Raiders might be the idea here for the Snake. But for now, Hera is going to be able to reclaim his gold mine. Meanwhile, Taro is mining stone with 4, so he could still try to tower this one, and apparently he will try to place a tower that's a very nice tower. The idea here is that you wanna snipe down those villagers from a distance when Taro's or when Hera's towers cannot actually hurt you. Meanwhile, it's a bit of an issue here that these archers will be harassing Hera's villagers, and in fact, they are still trying to get inside. Double scouts bashing down the walls, and the archers are just enough to push away the villagers. Hera's castle age time is getting severely delayed over here to a point where Viper and Taro might be able to catch up with him, and that's very nice. I gotta say that this is very nice execution from Secret. So Hera's fast castle has been severely delayed. The problem is that Leary was basically untouched, unless you account for the fact that he had to repair this building for quite a lot of time. Siege workshop at home is an interesting decision from Leary, instead of adding additional stables, but apparently this is just gonna be probably a Scorpion to deal with these guys. And it seems like Leary is just abandoning his teammate Hera here, not going for knights or so. He's just gonna go for multiple TC's boom and try to outboom his opponent. Meanwhile, the market will be finished here. But the thing is, Hera's eco is struggling heavily here. Slight inefficiency on the berries as well, and just unable to take his gold will mean that he is super far away from clicking up to Castle Age. And indeed, Viper will take over in Castle Age time. That is looking like an absolute just gem of a playstyle here from Viper and Taro. Very, very nicely done so far. And meanwhile, Leary is going to be 2 town centers, but what can he achieve with this one? He does have a siege workshop back at home, making a single mangonel. Is that something that you can actually achieve something with? Maybe monastery and go for an aggression with monks and mangonels, but yet again, contesting Celts with mangonels is going to be a bit of an issue because Celts do have better mangonels, and Taro is just playing this perfectly. Taro's task is not to absolutely destroy Hera here, but the fact that he can delay this so hard is just absolutely golden. The fact that he's just idling so many villagers, look at that, 5 villagers here, 5 villagers here, essentially Hera has so many idles, he's slowly getting closer to clicking up to Castle Age, but this is going to be awfully slow. So, not even mentioning the minor fact that he's unable to take his stone right now, sooner or later Taro is going to be pushed away from this one, so it's going to be very, very rough after that for Taro, but I think if he can get up to Castle Age soon, he's going to be fine. So, let's see. Towers here from Taro is going to go down. These are still feudal age towers from both sides. And look at that. Viper is just microing away from that single mangonel. This guy is just a beast. Meanwhile, for Leary, he is doing a boom on 2 town centers. It's not going to be a very impressive boom though, because if you think about the fact that Viper will probably go for 3 town centers, as you can see, he has enough wood to make 2 additional town centers reaching Castle Age. That means that he can easily outboom a Leary here. Feels like a bad idea, to be honest, as the archers are slowly moving in. Finally, Hera is able to click up the Castle Age, but this is really just a slow castle, not a fast castle. 1825 is the click-up time, basically, for Hera here. Meanwhile, this tower is still not going down, which is a bit of an issue here. And I just love how Taro is just placing more and more towers, just falling back more and more. And remember that both players do have fletching, so this is something that an even fight in between the towers. But what Taro is trying to achieve is just to be able to have a tower that is able to kill the villagers on stone, but is not in the range of the majority of Hera's towers. And this is why this tower is so beautiful. This tower can only fight 1 tower from Hera, so these 2 towers are essentially useless right now for Hera. But at least he's able to get a bit of that stone. Anyways, Viper reaching Castle Age, it's gonna be 1-2 TCs being added. Very, very nicely done. And like I said, this is why Leary's 2 TC play will not really work in the long run unless he can start to make significant aggression. Monks and mangonels coming in. And that could be an interesting issue. In fact, Viper is doing 4 TCs boom. That's not something that I actually expected. But this is gonna be a crazy boom from the Viper. He knows exactly that he needs to do that, as Hera is gonna lose a villager on this tower. So a lot of villagers lost here from Hera. He's in a very bad position. And the reason why Viper is probably doing a 4 TCs boom is because he knows that Taro is going to be behind in Castle Age time, even though it's not super significant. If you take a look at the villager counts, Taro 38, Leary at 49, Viper's 42 right now, but he is going to be on 4 town centers and he's going to have a defensive siege workshop as well. That TC is under pressure though. Let's see if Leary is going to go for the aggression here for the conversions. Meanwhile, Hera is gonna go for the Rams here most likely, although Mangonels could also make sense here for him, but he's super late to Castle Age. And the thing is that there is a scout coming in from Viper. He will just run away from the monks. Oh, the TC is able to range the monks here. That's something to watch out for. Conversion attempts, 1 monk will fail, and then the deletion of the scout will happen. Yet again, very nicely done by the Viper. Let's see what his follow-up plan is. Now he is at 53 villagers, just caught up with Leary. Leary is playing 2 town centers. Viper is playing 4. Leary will add TC number 3 very soon. But still, look at these man-at-arms. The man-at-arms of Viper are still alive, and they were able to destroy the market here. That's something to point out. Didn't even notice that so far, but the Saracen crossbows, which do deal a decent amount of damage against buildings, were able to destroy that market with the help of those man-at-arms. That's a big loss here from Hera, because he will need to repair that. He's still far away from dropping a castle. This is the perfect way of just pushing away that aggression with the Conquistadors, and just being able to play this game in Castle Age, because if it goes late Imperial, I think Secret also knows that that is going to be favoring the civilizations or the team with the Spanish Civ. because of the trade. Anyways, this is gonna be a big fight over here. Mangonel could land a beautiful shot on the monks. That is gonna be a 0-for-0 trade. That's a beautiful shot on the monks, though, all of them surviving, and that was a deletion from Viper, fearing of a conversion, I do believe, because now Leary is pushing him quite hard. And I'm not sure how long this TC can stand. Leary's aggression over here is starting to pay off, as, however, Taro is moving into Leary's base. Like I said, those polysides just fall like paper to the crossbowman aggression over here. These guys are just doing a lot of damage. And one thing that why Saracen crossbows are just amazing is because they can destroy farms very fast as well. That's a lot of wood that is lost in the farms as well. Leary will snap down one crossbow here. Mangonel coming on the defense, but yet again, Leary's eco is getting pressured. Leary and Viper head-to-head in villager counts right now. However, for the first time in this series, I think that Viper could be in trouble here, because lots of Mangonels coming in to push his base, and he doesn't really have anything to fight against that right now. Hera, he's still far from being able to start going out for conks, but once he does that, Taro might be in trouble. Meanwhile, TC number 3 coming up, and the crossbows will just loop around going for the Mangonels. And right now, like I said, Viper is in a bit of a trouble. He doesn't have a lot of military. He went for 4 TCs, but apparently he's just gonna brute force the stone here, because he lost this stone pile. I am fairly certain he wanted to go for defensive castle, but this is just amazing. Because, well, he's just gonna have to force defensive castle over here, but question is how long can he hold off Leary. Now, these are guard towers, and guard towers definitely do decent damage against those Mangonels, so that's not necessarily something that you can contest with those Mangonels. But meanwhile, those crossbows will hopefully, or well, at least should fall to the Mangonels here. Double Mangonels, just landing some shots on them. Nice micro there from Taro with the splits. The gold mine is very inefficient from Leary, that's something to point out, but this is gonna be mostly cleaned up. There is the castle coming up from Taro. Yet again, I'd be a bit careless because a few crossbows are just lurking for villagers here. But once this goes up, I think Hera could start to push this with Mangonels and Conquistadors. Or just go straight Conquistadors into the base of the Viper and use the Mangonels of Leary as well. Leary is just opening up a bit of more of a surface for him to attack here, as he's going to be moving forward very soon as well. Stables being added by Viper, so he's gonna go probably for light cavalry here, which is not amazing. Viper, yet again, trying to snipe those monks over there, but with Sensity they do survive, and Viper has to do the Mangonel before it gets converted. So he's just gonna play the tower defense game right now, and let's see what Leary is planning here. Leary is adding more and more of the barracks, and that's something I really love. So the villager is just coming to repair, but like I said, garrison guard towers are definitely something that can hurt Mangonels very badly here, and indeed one Mangonel goes down. They're just blocking each other, and that's gonna be a bit of an issue here. Meanwhile though, Mangonel goes down to Knight coming in from Taro. Secret yet again is just playing this absolutely perfectly. There's gonna be a stable coming in for husbandry for Hera, and he's gonna start moving forward with the Conquistadors here. Meanwhile, for Viper, he's gonna start massing scouts, soon to be light cabs, because he knows that to counter the monks and the Mangonel's aggression, that's exactly what you need. If Leary is lucky, he might bump into these stables here, and that would be something to point out. He's making spearmen, but unless he gets pikemen, those will not be enough to fight against the forces of Viper there. Meanwhile, Taro, we haven't seen him for a long time. He's on 3 TCs. He is at 70 villagers. Leary and Viper head-to-head in villager count, but yet again, Hera is the one that is behind. Will be on 2 town centers very soon. Meanwhile, still no aggression coming in. That's a lot of Mangonels. Look at Leary from all those Mangonels, but yet again, he's unable to destroy the tower. Monks are getting exposed to the tower fire over here, which is going to be an issue. There's the light caps coming in, and not enough spearmen to fight. I'm fairly certain that those crossbows were just targeting the spearmen, and indeed, there is all the monks going down, and that's a big issue here. One conversion does happen, and I think the rest of the scouts will be cleaned up by the spearmen here, but a lot of loss is inflicted by just 4 light caps, which are just scouts right now from Viper. If he goes for light cap, this is going to be even harder for Leary to do. He needs the pikeman upgrade and needs some great micro, and I just love how Viper is defending with the guard towers. Absolutely amazing plays, and he just gives no chance for Leary to attack. Maybe Leary could destroy this market over here on the right side. That would be something to achieve at least. Meanwhile though, Viper is gonna go for this gold mine over here. If this is something that Leary finds, that could cause some trouble for the snake. Meanwhile, over here, on the front line, slowly but surely Mangonel and Conquistador aggression is coming in for Hera, but this is a beautifully positioned castle from Taro overlooking this crossing. Overall, Taro does have a very nice base, and it is solidified from this side. Really the only chance for Hera right now is to move towards Viper's base and loop all the way around, start getting in, because yet again, Same thing seems to happen as we've seen previously, as the first Knights pops out for Viper. I think he did anticipate those monks not to be there, but apparently there is some monks, so this is not really gonna work for the snake. So the thing is, Leary and Tado are clicking up to Imperial Age the fastest, but I think Viper will soon follow. Let's see how Hera is doing. Hera is very, very far away from Imperial. So, the thing is, what is Leary gonna do in Imperial? He's gonna go for probably Onagers and Drujinia Halberdiers. And that's a decent combination, as Leary is converting the Siege Workshop. Will this happen? Will this Siege Workshop conversion happen? It will not. The Knights arrive just in time, and that's a wasted monk in this attempt, as apparently Viper will want to play this with Rams. He probably wants to go for Capped Rams once he reaches Imperial, or just go Battering Rams straight away and try to take down the Mangonels, because he knows that he cannot fight against that many Mangonels over here. Still, Leary and the Viper, or Leary and Tado will be the fastest into Imperial, as Leary is adding more and more infantry armor. It's looking decent. Viper with the defensive castle over here, he's gonna solidify control over this corner. However, one thing that Secret does not have is another corner for trade. So Tado needs this corner over here if they have this one to trade, otherwise their trade is gonna be garbage. Meanwhile, Longswordsmen coming in, so Drujinia Champions might be in the play. Probably Leary is expecting Void Raiders very soon. Anyways, Pikes and Mangonels in the party, as everybody is soon up to Imperial aside from Hera. Hera is close to clicking up as well, so eventually he's gonna be about the same time into Imperial as the Viper, and the Viper doesn't have a lot of gold to work with, so this is tricky. Rams soon to arrive from the Snake. Few Conquistadors running in, they might just ride straight to the Eco, even though there is still 4 Sound Centers from the Viper. As, look at this one. I think this is intentional. Viper and Tado chopping the forest through so that there is an easier connection in between them. Interesting, as apparently Tado is gonna go for the Saracen Arbalest. That is gonna be an insane unit to fight against. Meanwhile, Bombard Cannons could be in the play, or there could be traps coming in very soon. The Mangonel from Hera holding this here right now. This castle is good for solidifying control, as Leary is gonna start stonewalling the side of their base. Meanwhile, Tado looping around with the crossbows. That's a beautiful one. They are just here to snipe down the pikemen. That's all about it. However, Viper is not in Imperial, and that means that he cannot make traps. He has no tools to snipe down these traps right now, and that means that these towers will go down. If these towers go down, the Onagers will just melt the town centers, and that could be one way of playing things here. Meanwhile, Tado moving in with the Arbalest. I'm fairly certain he wants to loop around here and start sniping Villagers. Let's see if Hera's gonna go for the defensive castle a tiny bit late here. Still, second castle goes up for Leary, and the towers are about to melt. If the towers melt, the Onagers will just absolutely shred everything here. Meanwhile, a lot of Rams being ran up by the Viper here. He's gonna have very, very good Rams going for the pikemen inside. So, interesting. There goes the first town center. I feel like taking down the towers would have been a better priority, and then use the Onagers to take down the town centers. But anyways, Viper's Eco could be in trouble, as he is hurrying up barracks over here, going for a Halberdier flood very soon. Saracen archers coming up from Tado, going straight into Leary's Eco, probably for the gold miners over here that are completely exposed with no town center protecting them. The Onager coming in to deal with these guys though. One good Onager shot and it is all over. Ecos, fairly comparable I would say, in between the players. Hera is a bit behind, but that's nothing significant right now, because the Viper could be in trouble here very soon. Take down that tower, please, and then go in. Meanwhile, Taddy taking down the castle over here. Traps coming in as well from Hera. He will need Cavaliers very soon into this combat, but he doesn't really have the eco to resupply it. Meanwhile, there is going to be more and more pikemen coming in from the Viper. This is super interesting because Hera is not in a great position, but Viper could be in danger as well. He's escorting his eco to the back of his base, so he still has 125 villagers, but he's losing a lot of space right now. Those Onagers, I think they need to go in, but there is the cap tram push by the Viper. This is what everybody was waiting for. Onagers moving forward as the trap on the hilltop is going to start taking down this castle here. Viper is losing a lot of space inside his base. Let's see if those Onagers can absolutely shred all of those Rams. Let's see. Oh man. Yeah, those Onagers are way too much for those Rams. Meanwhile though, Leary's eco is absolutely getting massacred over here. Leary going down to 118 villagers with all those Arbalasts, just sniping down villagers from all directions. Those are Those villagers are just not protected by any town center over here at all. And even though this is a decent push coming in from Leary and taking down the Viper's Rams just absolutely perfectly, the problem is that we got Taro here who is just sniping down all the villagers from Leary. Leary is also getting raided on his gold mines. And not even mentioning the fact that Hera is losing the castles over here. It feels very, very clean so far from Secret. So, yep, it's not looking great. Unless Leary can pull a smaller miracle over here, this is gonna be very, very tough. Now, Halberdier is on the way for Viper, but eventually those will be cleaned up by the champions fairly well. I feel like the only way is if somehow Leary can start spamming units into the eco of Taro here. If they can do it, they could cripple that, but otherwise, so many eco is lost by Leary. They do not really have walls. Viper does have the sneaky siege workshop, and that is just gonna move forward, start taking down buildings, and the GG is being called, and that means 3-0 for Secret. Well, absolute cold shower here, I would say. Very, very nicely done from Secret. And, well, it's gonna be a tough one for AM to come back into, because we are going into match point after just 3 games. A bit of a shocker to me, to be honest. I didn't expect it to be this one-sided, but apparently we might be going into game number 4 with potentially the final game on the line. Anyways, eco numbers. Taro played insanely, I totally agree with that one. Taro's push on Hera single-handedly delayed that castle age so much that it was basically enough. Otherwise, this could have been probably lost by Secret. So Taro played insanely good with the early aggression. Just those towers were very well positioned. Overall raiding left and right with the archers, very, very nicely done. And then had a nice boom after it, so the transition was very smooth as well. And if you take a look at the villager counts, Viper and Leary ahead, and eventually Hera managed to catch up. But in the end, that meant a Secret win. It's nice to hear, Sergoldai. Happy that you're enjoying. So, 3 points for Secret. Let's go back to the Draft Arena and take a look at what do we have.